Hey there everyone, welcome back to Adam's Kitchen. So today we're going to be making chili. Now chili is one of those great meals because you can use it in the winter when you're feeling kind of cold, you want something warm or something to warm you up. You can also use it in the summer if you have like a barbecue and you want something to go with it, or you want to make some chili dogs during a baseball game. It's a really great recipe. So let's get started by assembling the ingredients. So we need some red kidney beans, I use canned, chili powder, cumin, olive oil, salt and pepper, beef and pork mince, and it's that tomato sauce we made before. And we need some beef broth. Now I use a bouillon cube for the beef broth. You can do the same or you can make your own yourself. So let's start by cooking the beef and pork minced meat. Now you can just use beef if you like, or you can use pork if you like, whatever you prefer. I use a mixture because it helps retain a lot of the moisture. And the reason why we're cooking it separately is to remove a lot of the fat, because using the pork there's a lot of fat, and using the beef there's a lot of water as well. So we want to remove all that as much as possible. Now notice I didn't add any olive oil or vegetable oil to the bottom of the pan because the pork in the mince has enough fat and grease to prevent it from sticking to the bottom of the pot. Now in this recipe I only used about maybe a pound or 750 grams of meat. You can add more if you want it a little bit more meatier, a little bit thicker, or you can use like maybe chunks of steak, or you can just remove the beef and pork mince altogether and use chicken instead. It's a very flexible recipe and you can make it however you like. Feel free to get as creative with it as much as possible. Or to make a vegetarian version, just add chopped vegetables instead. That's looking pretty good. Now, you might start to notice all that fat and grease down there. Now what we could do is we could take it and just run it through a strainer to get all the grease out of there altogether. But in this case, I'm just going to kind of cheat and just use a few paper towels to get most of it out. Now if there's a little bit grease left over, that's fine, because the grease is it's fat, but it does have a lot of flavor in it, and we could just add that flavor to our vegetables that we add later on. Alright, so I took it out of the pan, and now I didn't really wash the pan because I want to keep that flavor in there. So I added some olive oil. Now everything's going to kind of go all at once. So I have an onion that I chopped up. We're just going to quickly cook that down. We're not going to really cook it too much because it's going to be cooked even further when we add the rest of the liquids. But I do want to get the onions a little bit started here. That's looking pretty good. It's about halfway cooked, maybe a little bit more. So let's start adding our seasonings and getting those working. So add our chili powder and some sugar. And lastly, some cumin. Now if you want to make this spicy, you could add some cayenne pepper if you like. So just give that a working in. And as we start cooking it now, we can really smell the onions really interacting with the spices pretty well. That looks really good already. So let's add our cooked mince now, put it all together. And at this point in the recipe, we're pretty much just throwing everything back into the pot. That's looking pretty good, so let's add our red kidney beans and our beef stock. That's looking pretty good, so give that a mix around, and now we can add our tomato sauce. And for this, again, you can add as much tomato sauce as you like. You don't have to add the basil leaves. I just kept it in there because it was there and I don't want it to go to waste. So I added about 4 cups of tomato sauce. You could add more, you could add less. And give that a little mix in and add the rest. So like I said, it's about 4 cups total. Now we just mix it around a little bit, make sure it doesn't dry out or stick to the bottom, and we just cook it down to the consistency that you like. If you want a more thicker chili, cook it on the stove over low-medium heat, uncovered of course, and it will eventually cook down. That's looking pretty good. Maybe a few more minutes to let it cook down a little bit more. And again, it's all a matter of how much you want it to, how thick you want it to be. Now in this case, I want to keep it a little bit runnier than normal because I want to add it to rice for dinner and I want the sauce to saturate the rice. But if I were to make chili dogs, I would cook down the sauce a little bit more, try to get some of that water out that way that it doesn't soak the bun. So here we have it. It's our chili recipe. And like I said, just adding it over some fresh rice, some cheese on top, some fresh onions. I always add fresh onions on top to give it a bit of a crispy taste. Feel free to add whatever you like. You could add cheddar cheese. In this case, I use mozzarella cheese because that's what I had mostly on hand. And I hope you enjoy it. And if you give it a try yourself, please let me know how it came out in the comment section below. I'd like to hear how you made any kind of alterations yourself. Oh, look at that cheesiness. And the taste, actually, I gotta be honest, it was better than I thought it was going to be. I think last time I made this, I added too much cumin, and the cumin was just too overpowering. So I remembered that, and I reduced it, and it came out great. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this recipe, and please, like I said, give it a try yourself, and let me know what you think of it. And stick around, because next we're going to be adding this chili to a chili dog. It's a great meal, it's a great dinner, it's a great snack for maybe for watching baseball games or sports, or you're having a barbecue and you just want to add something a little bit extra to the hot dog. So that's it this week. Thanks for sticking around, and please remember, if you like this video, please tell me that you like it. Click the like button, and I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe too. That would really help me out a lot. So I look forward to talking to you next week, and if there's any recipes that you are interested in or you want to see, please leave them down in the comment section below. That's it for this week. See you next week, everyone, and remember, keep it simple in the kitchen.